Commander Hale had faced countless threats across the outer colonies, from asteroid pirates to rogue AI militias. Yet, nothing in his 27 years of service in the Galactic Defense Corps had prepared him for what awaited him on the remote research station orbiting the crimson moon of Vera 9. The station was abandoned, or so he had been told. A lone distress signal had appeared in the communications logs, a faint, distorted plea in the Veran language. No human had ever set foot here, and the Galactic Council had long considered the planet inhospitable. But when Hale's AI assistant, Lyra, identified human-like vocal patterns in the transmission, he didn't hesitate. "Looks like a local research station," Lyra reported as the shuttle descended through the sulfur-tinted atmosphere. "But Commander, the readings are unusual. Life signatures are present, but inconsistent with humans or any known species." "Unusual is my specialty," Hale muttered, gripping the console. He had earned his reputation for handling the inexplicable and surviving. The station came into view, a twisted skeleton of metal jutting from Vera 9's barren surface. Its hull was scorched, signs of past bombardments visible in the jagged gouges and shattered solar arrays. Yet, power readings flickered across the monitors, a heartbeat against the silence of the void. Upon entering the airlock, Hale activated his standard protocols. Motion sensors swept the corridors, infrared scans pierced the darkened chambers. The faint, rhythmic sound of a timer echoed in his mind, a heartbeat counting down somewhere beyond the steel walls. Then he saw her. She was small, almost impossibly so, barely over 5 feet, with an athletic frame that exuded both grace and lethal efficiency. Her hair glimmered in shades of violet under the station's flickering lights, and her eyes were the color of molten silver. Hale's pulse quickened, not in fear, but in recognition of a predator's gaze. "Commander Hale," she said, her voice calm, controlled, yet threaded with amusement. "I was expecting someone like you." Hale's hand instinctively hovered near his sidearm. "Who are you? What is this station doing active?" "You were broadcasting a distress signal. Why?" She tilted her head, letting the timer in her mind tick audibly. "I don't have much time. 4 minutes. That's all I need for this experiment." Hale frowned. Lyra's voice crackled in his earpiece. "Commander, her biometric readings are off the charts. I've never seen a human perform at this level. And yet, she's different." Hale ignored her for a moment. "Experiment? Explain yourself, human." "I am human," she said, a small smile curling on her lips. "But I have trained beyond what your military doctrines would consider humanly possible. 4 minutes, Commander. That's your limit. If you fail, well, I don't think you'll forget this encounter." Before Hale could react, the countdown began audibly from somewhere deep inside the station, a loud, pulsing hum that resonated in the metal corridors. He activated his personal shields, scanning for threats. Yet, she didn't move toward him. She simply stood there, her stance relaxed, eyes locked on him, calculating. And then she moved. 42 seconds later, Hale found himself on the floor, disarmed, breathless, and more terrified than he had ever been in the 30-plus encounters of his career. The room, once tense with anticipation, now echoed only with the hum of the station's systems. She stood over him, breathing lightly, her eyes reflecting amusement and triumph. You finished in 42 seconds? Hale managed to gasp, incredulous. She crouched down, close enough that he could feel the subtle heat of her presence. 4 minutes was your limit, she said softly. I beat the clock. Hale staggered to his feet, brushing off the dust from the fall. His mind raced. Every scenario he had trained for, every contingency he had memorized, every battle plan, All of it had failed against her. Lyra's voice sounded hesitant. Commander, she didn't just defeat you. She anticipated your every move. Every offensive and defensive tactic you attempted, predicted, and neutralized within seconds. Hale blinked. The fear that had settled in his chest began to shift into something else: respect, admiration, and a flicker of curiosity. He had met prodigies before, humans who bent the limits of physiology and strategy. But she was beyond them all. Why me? He asked, still struggling to find the words. Why choose this station, this moment, to test me? Her smile deepened. Because the Council didn't believe humans could be exceptional. They measured us against machines, aliens, simulations, but never against ourselves. I needed to see if the legends were true. If humans could outthink, outfight, and outperform anything the galaxy had ever known. Hale's jaw tightened. So this was a test. Against me?
Precisely, she said.
You are the standard. The station's lights dimmed, then flickered back to full power. Monitors displayed holographic readings, mapping simulations, combat sequences, and calculated probabilities. It was a war game unlike any Hale had ever encountered. And yet, in 42 seconds, she had completed what he had expected to take 4 minutes of calculated maneuvers. You didn't just beat me, he said slowly, awe creeping into his tone. You beat the simulation, the station, my expectations, everything. She stood, brushing off her uniform, and scathed. Exactly. I needed someone who could appreciate the performance. Someone human. Hale rubbed his temples, feeling both exhaustion and exhilaration. And what now? Do you leave me here to recover? She shook her head.
No. You leave with me.
I have work to do, and I need someone who understands the value of human potential. You've seen what we are capable of, what we can become. He hesitated, scanning the station, noting the damage, the lingering danger. You're recruiting me? Not recruiting, she corrected, her silver eyes locking on his. Observing. Learning. Preparing. The galaxy is not kind to humans who underestimate themselves. I intend to change that. And so, Hale followed her through the corridors, every step a mixture of uncertainty and excitement. She led him to the control room, where holographic projections of entire planetary systems, fleets, and alien armadas hovered in midair. Her fingers danced across the displays, adjusting calculations, rerouting data, simulating battles that spanned light years. Look, she said, pointing to a simulated fleet of alien warships. They think humans are primitive. They rely on brute force, overwhelming numbers, and predictive AI. But humans think differently. We improvise. We adapt. We exploit every weakness. That is why the galaxy fears us. Hale watched, amazed, as she reconfigured the simulation in seconds, turning the battle in favor of a single human squadron against impossible odds. Each move was precise, deliberate, and devastating. I've seen humans fight, he said quietly. But this is different. This is beyond human. She turned, her expression unreadable.
Exactly.
That is why I exist. That is why I chose to test you. The galaxy underestimates us. But you are human. You can carry the truth forward. Lyra chimed in, voice soft but analytical. Commander, her cognitive and physical processing speeds are off the charts. I calculate she could outperform any AI designed for combat, any alien strategist, and most humans by orders of magnitude. Hale nodded. I saw that. 42 seconds. 4 minutes was the limit, and she annihilated it. She gave him a wry smile. Exactly. Humans can be terrifying when we embrace our potential. Most never do. But you've just witnessed it. Remember that. Remember what we are capable of. As they prepared to leave the station, Hale felt a strange combination of relief and anticipation. He had survived, barely. But more importantly, he had seen what humans could do when pushed beyond limits, when they refused to be confined by rules, fears, or expectations. And for the first time, he understood why the Council and the galaxy should fear them. The shuttle rose from the station, Vera, 9 shrinking below them. Hale looked over at the girl, the human who had redefined everything he thought he knew about their species. She smiled again, her silver eyes glinting with promise and mischief. Next time, she said, "Don't think 4 minutes is enough to impress me." Hale laughed, despite himself. Next time? I'm not sure there will be a next time. You might terrify me before I even step foot on another station.
Good, she said.
Fear keeps humans sharp. And we're just getting started. The galaxy was wide, dangerous, and unpredictable. But Hale now knew one truth above all. Humanity, when tested, could achieve the impossible. 4 minutes could become 42 seconds. Legends could be rewritten. And fear, the galaxy's fear of humans, was only beginning. As the shuttle disappeared into the void, Hale made a silent vow. He would train. He would learn. And one day, perhaps, he would meet her challenge again. Because in a universe where a single human could beat the clock in 42 seconds, anything was possible.